the Central Intelligence Agency. For over 7 decades, it has operated in the shadows of American foreign policy, conducting operations that most citizens will never know about in countries most Americans will never visit, with an estimated annual budget exceeding $15 billion, over 20,000 employees, and a presence in nearly every nation on Earth. The CIA represents the largest and most sophisticated intelligence apparatus ever created. But how does it actually work? How does one agency gather secrets from adversaries, influence foreign governments, and maintain America's intelligence dominance in an increasingly connected world? To understand the CIA's global reach, we need to understand what it actually does, how it evolved, and why it remains one of the most powerful yet controversial institutions in modern governance. The CIA was born from the chaos of World War II. Before 1947, American intelligence was fragmented, uncoordinated, and often ineffective. The attack on Pearl Harbor exposed fatal gaps in information sharing between military and civilian agencies. President Harry Truman signed the National Security Act in 1947, creating the CIA as America's first peacetime intelligence agency. Its mission: to collect, analyze, and disseminate intelligence affecting national security. But here's what makes the CIA unique. It's the only agency authorized to conduct covert operations abroad. The CIA operates under 5 core directorates. The Directorate of Operations, SAT, the spies. These are the case officers who recruit foreign agents, run clandestine operations, and gather human intelligence, or HUMINT, from sources around the world. The Directorate of Analysis, the analysts. Thousands of experts who process raw intelligence, produce assessments, and brief policymakers on threats ranging from terrorism to nuclear proliferation. The Directorate of Science and Technology, the innovators. They develop the spy tools, surveillance systems, communication devices, cyber capabilities, and reconnaissance technology. The Directorate of Support, the infrastructure, logistics, security, training, and administrative functions that keep operations running worldwide. The Directorate of Digital Innovation, the newest addition, created to address cyber threats, data analytics, and technological warfare in the digital age. Each directorate works in tandem, creating an intelligence machine capable of operating in any environment against any adversary. So how does the CIA maintain a global presence? The answer lies in a sophisticated network that most people never see. The CIA operates stations in U.S. embassies worldwide. These stations, typically hidden within diplomatic facilities, serve as command centers for regional operations. Station chiefs oversee intelligence collection, coordinate with foreign services, and manage local assets. In major cities like London, Paris, Berlin, Tokyo, and Cairo, these stations can employ dozens of officers working under diplomatic cover. They attend embassy functions by day and run intelligence operations by night. CIA officers abroad rarely introduce themselves as CIA officers. They use cover identities, or legends, as they're called in the trade. Some operate under official cover as diplomats, protected by diplomatic immunity. Others use non-official cover, posing as business people, journalists, or aid workers, carrying no protection if exposed. The CIA doesn't work alone. It maintains formal relationships with intelligence services in dozens of countries. The Five Eyes alliance with Britain, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand represents the closest cooperation, with near total intelligence sharing. Beyond that, the CIA cooperates with services in NATO countries, Middle Eastern allies, and even, when interests align, with agencies in countries like Russia and China on specific counterterrorism matters. Let's get specific. How does the CIA actually gather intelligence? This is classic espionage. A CIA case officer identifies a potential source, someone with access to valuable information. This could be a foreign official, military officer, scientist, or terrorist insider. The recruitment process can take months or years. Officers build relationships, identify vulnerabilities or motivations, whether ideology, money, ego, or coercion, and eventually make the pitch, asking the individual to become an intelligence asset. Once recruited, assets provide information through clandestine meetings, dead drops, or encrypted communications. The most valuable assets may operate for decades, providing continuous intelligence on their government's secrets. The CIA deploys sophisticated technical collection methods. This includes surveillance devices planted in foreign facilities, cyber intrusion operations that penetrate computer networks, reconnaissance drones that monitor targets from the sky, biometric collection systems that identify individuals globally. The CIA's technical capabilities remain largely classified, but revelations from whistleblowers have shown the agency can hack smartphones, bypass encryption, and access private communications worldwide. Beyond gathering intelligence, the CIA conducts covert operations designed to influence events abroad. This is where the agency moves from observer to actor. Historically, this has included supporting resistance movements and insurgencies, conducting paramilitary operations, influencing foreign elections, spreading propaganda, overthrowing or supporting governments. Operations like the 1953 Iranian coup, the Bay of Pigs invasion in Cuba, support for Afghan against the Soviets, and countless others demonstrate the CIA's willingness to shape global events through direct action. Raw intelligence is useless without analysis. CIA analysts produce daily briefings for the president, including the President's Daily Brief, considered the most exclusive publication in the world. They assess threats, predict political developments, and provide strategic recommendations. During crises, the CIA's Operations Center operates around the clock, fusing intelligence from all sources. Let's examine how these methods work in practice through specific operations. The hunt for Osama bin Laden demonstrated the CIA's capabilities at their peak. For years, analysts tracked bin Laden's courier network. Technical surveillance and human intelligence eventually identified a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Since 9/11, counterterrorism has dominated CIA priorities. The agency operates alongside military special forces in places like Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Somalia. The CIA constantly works to identify and neutralize foreign spies operating in the United States and against American interests abroad. When Russian intelligence officers were caught attempting to recruit Americans or conducting surveillance, it was often CIA counterintelligence that identified them. The agency runs operations to feed false information to foreign services and to protect American secrets from theft. The CIA's power comes with profound challenges and controversies. Intelligence agencies operate in secrecy, but in a democracy, who watches the watchers? Congressional intelligence committees provide oversight, but critics argue this isn't enough. Operations are sometimes conducted with minimal oversight, and mistakes can have catastrophic consequences. The CIA's enhanced interrogation program after 9/11 sparked intense debate about torture. Extraordinary rendition raised legal and ethical concerns. Drone strikes that kill civilians alongside targets continue to generate controversy about accountability and the rules of warfare. Some CIA operations have had unintended consequences. Support for Mujahideen in Afghanistan helped create the conditions for the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Interventions in Latin America and the Middle East have generated anti-American sentiment that persists decades later. Today's threats are different. The CIA must combat terrorism while also confronting great power competition with China and Russia. It must operate in the digital realm while protecting against cyber attacks on its own systems. Recruiting and retaining talent in an era where tech companies offer better pay remains difficult. Adapting Cold War structures to address transnational threats like climate change and pandemics requires institutional evolution. So how does America control global intelligence? Through an agency that has spent over 7 decades perfecting the art of collecting secrets, conducting operations, and influencing events worldwide. The CIA represents extraordinary power, an organization that operates beyond public view, making decisions that affect millions of lives. Its successes often remain secret, while its failures become public scandals. Whether you view the CIA as essential to national security or as an unaccountable shadow government depends on your perspective on American power and the role of intelligence in a democratic society. What's certain is this: as long as nations compete for power, resources, and influence, intelligence agencies will remain central to that competition. And in that world, the CIA stands as the most sophisticated, most powerful intelligence service ever created. The real question isn't whether the CIA controls global intelligence. It's whether anyone truly controls the CIA.